Hi, welcome. On this video, I want to take a couple minutes to respond to, again, the Miracle Canine debate. It's been about a week, again, since I engaged in, or since that debate's been posted on YouTube. And again, going through the comments, okay, and again, I want to just make this couple points here as I kind of reflect on, okay, the responses, okay, the dog training world itself, and look at everything going on. Now you go through those comments, okay, on Miracle Canine's debate, and just kind of take a snapshot. What you're going to find generally, you're going to find like 70% are like basically just trying to dismiss, write off anything that I had to say. Words like word salad, they go on all these, but get very personal. So that's like 70%. 20% are like, well, Dale's has some good points, but I can't quite figure it out. Everything he's saying. And like less than 10% is like Dale's on the money here. Very few of that. There's only a couple in there like that. But here's the thing that really, again, a little bit of kind of stepping back from this stuff. Again, if you take those percentages, I mean, that's the current state of the dog training world. Doesn't matter what these, understand, you can't go by anything these trainers and the followers have to say. They're selling, understand that they're marketing this idea. They're making money off of it. It's a rigged game. It's basically a Ponzi scheme, and it's all falling to pieces. Okay, and this is the thing. So when in that debate, when I start connecting dots to certain situations, such as the Gelman situation, okay, I go through Robert Cabral's statement. Okay, I go through, and that's part of my Flipping the Script series, which I would encourage you. Okay, if you're interested in knowing what the real problem is in the dog training world, watch that series. But again, and then here's the other thing I would challenge this on. The dog training world's falling apart at the seams. That's the thing that's incredible here. Devices being banned, even as these trainers are all over the place. Even debating with each other, throwing each other under the bus in the dog training world. And meanwhile, right, they just keep pushing this idea forward. And there's no stepping back from anything. But again, we talk about, the percentages line up, in terms of, again, just the dog training community itself as a whole. So all to say, again, it's totally expected, totally predictable. But again, in terms of what's coming, again, I make this prediction that it's going to get bad. I mean, if you look at, again, device bans happening, but the next part of it is going to, hey, you want to be, a dog trainer, you got to sign off. By way of business licensing to the force-free movement fully. I mean, that's next. I mean, people have to understand. So it doesn't matter. Like, people can say whatever they want to say about, this debate. I don't expect acceptance of any of it to the dog training community based, again, on what they've already come into agreement with. They didn't stop to, again, I make this point, they didn't stop to ask the question at the beginning. They just took a hold of this idea, this very problematic idea, and ran with it, set up their business, ran with it. But that's why, again, we'll go through the debate. It's 2.5 hours long. You can watch it. But it's going to, again, if you're already in agreement with this idea of things, of course, you're going to get angry. The truth always makes people angry. But again, my encouragement is that you can get angry, but then step back at the same time, look at the dog training world. See, that's the thing. You got to line it up. I mean, it's information specific. I put a specific information. But here's the other thing, too, is these people go on about, word salad and circular thinking and all this stuff, and they just want to write it off. But they have, and this is my point, they have all the time in the world, okay, to invest in this idea, right? They had like a lot of these individuals spent tons of money, time, like weeks and months and years, just totally selling out to this idea, but don't have any time, okay, any time. When confronted with what the real problem is, based on this current state of the dog training world, to even take a moment to connect the dots. Okay, they do an audit to reflect on, say, this is crazy. Like this, look at all the divisiveness, all the problems, breed-specific bans, device bans, force-free movement taking over, dog bites increasing, confusion, divisiveness. Look at it. And, because my Flipping the Script series is basically just a snapshot of it. I mean, there's so many more situations that you can go into. But these trainers have no time for any of that. It's like, life is good. I'm making money. And again, talk about based on what that ideology represents, how individuals are stepping into a process, petting all over dogs, playing into their emotions that way. Meanwhile, counterfeit picture. Dogs get blame shifting on the dogs, normalized. I mean, you watch these, on their YouTube channels of these balanced dog trainers, just like Force Free trainers, talking about the conversation of euthanizing dogs. I mean, it's right out in front, it's right in your face. And, this is why I talk about both these groups. They're one and the same. So all to say, okay, I mean, pay attention. I mean, understand that the dog training world is going to get much worse. I made these predictions a long time ago about device bans happening, laughed at. Now they're happening everywhere because that's the thing. I talk about the truth as to what there is. There is truth. See, that's the thing that kills me, is that these trainers act like truth is subjective. This is where this phrase comes from. There's more than one way to train a dog. That doesn't even make sense. But then it makes sense when you understand it's all governed by this superficial idea of things, all appearances, response-based, no depth, the core ingredients I talk about. So, of course, it all makes sense, not in a good way. So there's got to be truth, and there is truth. But again, it's totally been thrown on the street by these trainers who just are pushing this ideology. That's all they're doing. It's all to say that pay attention. The dog training world's coming apart. You can watch my series. It's out there. Again, I talk about the solution as well. That's ultimately coming out the other side, with a predictable outcome. How's that happen? How does what comes through again? Understanding what training represents. You're dealing with a relationship problem. It's not a learning-based exercise. Think about that. Doesn't even make sense. So many things don't even make sense, but no one's even questioning anything. They're just accepting what these trainers are selling. It's an intervention, right? Just like a parent-child relationship. Once a child's selfish, it's an intervention. So these trainers aren't even connecting the dots. And then again, what path does it follow? Interaction-based, just like a parent who's interacting with. So all the themes I talk about, they all line up. But also, again, coming on the other side, these discussions, these trainers are euthanizing dogs. Can't get these remote collars off the dogs. I'll just leave them on. All the excuses, because they're selling a defective product, and they can't back out of it. Understand that, I put this information out. You understand that these trainers are not going to back out of it. So the information I put out, if you're a dog owner, or if you're a new trainer, look around, pay attention, and so, because when the chips are down, understand this, when the chips are down and this, this response-based picture doesn't line up and you don't have the results that you expected, or someone gets bitten or you get blindsided, don't be surprised. Understand that this is what's being sold. And they're both these, so when you have both these groups doing it at this level, which comprise about over 99% of all trainers out there, of course you're going to have of course things are going to look normal from a certain level. It's not normal. It's a train wreck. So again, all to say again, check out the debate that lines up. All the response to the debate lines up. Because you're not to confront what the problem is. There has to be a trade-off. Understand, ultimately, you cannot, training's not a learning-based exercise, so it doesn't matter what these trainers or followers say, they ultimately know, okay, that to look at it means that you have to trade off. You can't keep doing what you're doing. And so that's not going to happen to these trainers, because, life is good, blame shifting. So there's lines these trainers across. You talk about ethics in the dog training world, a moral compass, that's gone. It's a joke. So even to have these whatever these trainers say on social media, don't believe it, okay? I mean, you can't reconcile any of it based on what they're marketing, okay? I break it all down. So they can go on all day long, but word salad and all this, well, that's just excuses, okay? They have all the time in the world, okay, to invest in this idea and the 5-year marketing plan. They don't have, 2 minutes to apply some critical thinking. Well, that tells you something right there. Thanks for watching.